As the saying goes, the youth are our future. This is evident in an annual event sponsored by the European Parliament. Robin Ford from EU TV introduces us to a young man whose participation is paving the way to a bright future.
21-year-old Timothy Sinhaver got interested in politics when his school took part in a European Youth Parliament when he was 16. For the following 3 years, with a team from his school, he argued for and against issues that were important to him in debating sessions with other young people from 32 different European countries.
I got faced with other opinions, I got faced with other cultures. It got me thinking in another way, from a different perspective than my own. A lot of issues were covered which I normally don't think about. For instance, human rights, environment, women's rights. All of these things that a youngster normally doesn't think about, I was confronted with.
Every year, 15 schools from towns like this in Belgium take part in the European Youth Parliament. Now, those schools prepare debates which are held 3 times a year in the European Parliament itself. But the question is, why does the European Parliament feel it's important to invite schools in through its doors?
It's important for young people to come here and work here because it familiarizes them, of course, with how this institution functions.
The Parliament's Charlemagne Prize is granted to projects like Timothy's, which foster understanding and promote the development of a shared sense of European identity amongst young people. This prize and the Parliament's open door policy towards youth organisations points to its recognition of the importance of young people's role in the future of Europe.
The Parliament is a symbol of European democracy, and they represent the future of European democracy, so it's good for them to be there.
The fact that they are discussing politics, they are discussing about the challenges, they are discussing about solutions, is very, very important for the future of Europe, for the future of our planet.
After 6 years of involvement with the European Youth Parliament, Timothy has become part of the organisation. This year he was the head organiser of the international session held at his university in Leuven, Belgium, where he's just completed his degree in law. His ongoing involvement in the European Youth Parliament has clearly had an impact on his future.
It got me interested in law and it got me interested in politics. It was defining for my choice to study law and my choice to study human rights law in specific.
Timothy will be going on to do a master's programme in human rights and democratisation organised by the European Inter-University Centre. His first semester he'll be studying in Venice and then other European countries. There's no doubt his experience of having met and debated with people from all over Europe will prove invaluable. Now, the most surprising thing about this week's report was that the young people taking part in the European Youth Parliament were really a mixture of different races and different cultural backgrounds, which is quite surprising because I've seen other youth organisations, political youth organisations, and it's not normally the case. Normally you see the majority are white and middle class. So this was really surprising, and I think it was great that it was a real representation of young people in Europe.
With unemployment on the rise, now would seem an unlikely time for anyone to choose to leave a steady paying job to volunteer in another country. But according to one organization, this spirit of giving back seems to be growing among adults who feel stuck in the workplace. ITN's Elodie Harper has more on this story.
Setting off to do community work in the developing world may seem an odd choice to make in a recession when your job is safe. But the volunteer services overseas has seen a significant rise in applications from people who say they are frustrated by their lack of opportunities at work. Michael Warmington just left his banking job to volunteer for a year in Ghana. And far from putting him off, it was the recession which made him decide it was time for a change.
The business was slowing and, people weren't being promoted in the next couple of years. And VSO was just a really good way of continuing to develop myself and towards a career I want in international development, at a time maybe when people back home in England, don't have those same opportunities. As well as putting something into the community where your placement is, there's a lot to take from it yourself.
Other sabbatical companies such as Gap Years for Grown-Ups and the Career Break site have also seen applications rise over the past year.
We have had applications from people who have been made redundant, for sure, but also from people who perhaps feel they're stagnating in their career, not getting the opportunities that they wanted to get.
Today's survey suggests 1 in 6 believe the recession has set their career development back by a couple of years. Whether or not workers choose to leave, such high levels of discontent may well cause problems for business in the long term.
Robots are changing the way some manufacturing companies do business. Often these machines complete jobs faster and more efficiently than their human counterparts. A good money saver, but one that can leave people jobless. Gideon Hanuman Singh from WinTV Trinidad found a pair of robots that actually boost output while securing jobs.
Meet Ben and Matt, a pair of multifunctional robots rapidly transforming the manufacturing culture in Trinidad and Tobago. In this case, Matt is the benefactor, automatically handing to Ben a component part which he shapes into an electrical box. He then gives the bended metal box to Matt, who takes it to the stockpile on the ground. And all of this through the Solid Edge software that models in a virtual environment exactly what the customer has in mind.
We can use animation, different views, full specifications, details, exactly to the specification that the customer would like.
It facilitates online product design and development, reducing cost and saving rapidly depleting energy.
We can seamlessly take this rendering and generate machine code and commands for the automated equipment to manufacture these parts.
The process begins at this automated punching table, where metal sheets of accurate specifications are placed under this turret press for programmed manipulation.
The parts are punched and cut on this machine, and then it is picked individually and sorted for routing to another process.
These robots bring to the local manufacturing sector some peculiar advantages. They are never sick, don't get bored, and work continuously to produce at maximum efficiency without jeopardizing the security of the manual labor force.
This creates more opportunities for more jobs. They have more innovation, more research and development.
As the world searches for greener modules to do business, TYE Manufacturing is leading the way to a cleaner environment with its adoptive cutting-edge technology.
Can't wait for the World Cup? Well, you can gear up with the World Youth Championship. We'll show you one of this year's most impressive first-time qualifiers.